Okay. Yeah. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining our Hybrid Body Lab Artist Residency info session. And we're really excited to share with you about all the updates of the Artist Residency program next year, 2026. And also we invited all of our prior artists in residence to join us and share about their experience and answer your questions. So we have very tight schedule, so we'll just start. First is about the organizers. So we have Professor Cindy Liu-Kao, Associate Professor of Human-Centered Design, who is also the Director of Hybrid Body Lab. And then me, I'm a PhD candidate at the lab, and then Eddie.
I'm first year PhD in Hybrid Body Lab.
Yeah, and we also have our selection committee who will join us in terms of reviewing all your applications and providing feedback, and we will discuss like who would be our finalists that we would like to work with. And this year we also we have Jalisa Reed, who is assistant professor of human-centered design, and Sarah Gotolka, who is an artist and director of Luna Fiber Studio, and Morgan Chen, who is our 2022 artist in residence and who is also an artist and designer based in New York City. And we are so excited to have the selection committee who has been with us throughout the past few years, and we're so excited to see all your applications. And Cindy will give you a more introduction about our lab.
Awesome. So thanks so much, Jiwon, for opening. And welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here for our intro. Yes, and so I am Cindy Liu-Kao. I'm the director of the Hybrid Body Lab. And our lab focuses on thinking about interfaces that are soft and that can often be applied directly on or into the skin surface. And you can see here, we are a very interdisciplinary team of researchers spanning backgrounds from design, engineering, sciences, etc. And we're very, very excited through hosting this artist residency to invite on-body design experts such as yourself to be situated in a academic research lab setting, and to really take advantage of the tools that we've developed for building on-skin technology and to explore ways to integrate it into your practice. And so next slide, please. Thank you. Yes, and so just a little bit background about this residency. So it was funded, it is currently still being funded by the National Science Foundation through a NSF career grant. And the goal of this residency is really to enable researchers such as ourselves. Our primary field is what we call human-computer interaction. And we really want to invite on-body design experts and artists to come work with us. We are really open to any type of medium of on-body art and design. And so here I'm just listing some example on-body art disciplines, but it's really including but not limited to. So some ideas that we had include hairstyling, nail art, tattoo art, makeup, prostheses, dentures, on-skin fashion, body art, etc. Okay, this list, we really invite also artistic practices that might sit between these categories. We're very, very open to also what counts as on-body art and what does not. So if you think you're a fit, you please apply. We really welcome a diverse range of applications.
Thank you, Cindy, for the introduction. And now Addie will start with introducing the more details of the programming for the next year.
Yeah, so this time we're doing a very early open call. So the actual residency will happen in the next year's spring. So for this year, we will have the application in 2025. So the application will due on Thursday, September 18th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States. And we will notify the final recipient of this artist residency at October 24th in 2025. And the actual residency will happening in next year, which will be from March 2nd to May 1st, which is the whole 2 months equals 9 weeks of residencies. And we divide the whole residency in a weekly structure. In the first week, we will introduce 5 lab tutorials from our previous labs research works, and we will offering some introduction about this lab, and also our collaborators among the PhDs and other researchers will share their skills among different area to the artists. And then in the second week, we'll start brainstorming different topics for your artist residency. So in this week, we can choose the primary project collaborator with you. If you're chosen like a different your interest area, like you can collaborate with a certain PhD or other researcher in our lab. And in the third week to the eighth week, we were doing a very intensive like project co-development and some sample creation towards the final exhibition and the publication of our work. So in the last week, we can wrap up a project, and we will be having a public presentation and exhibition in Cornell University at the very end of this artist residency for you to showcase your work alongside our lab's collaborative work. And what we expect you to enjoy during this artist residency will be from the collaboration-based research and creations. You can collaborate with our research in our lab to produce a very interesting body of work that integrates your artist interest and our emerging technologies. And this artist residency will be in person, so you are expected to stay in Osaka and work in the lab for 40 hours per week, which is very, this is the new expectation for next year's residency. So 75% of your time will be spent on your own creative artist residency projects, and the other 25% will be on a collaboration-based research with our researchers in the lab. And also, you are expected to join other like collaborative activities related to your residency project, which would include like co-authoring research papers for publications. And you will, during the residency, you are expected to deliver 2 talks. One is at the very beginning of your residency to share your previous experience about your art practice. And another one is at the very end of your residency to share what you have developed and created with our lab's researchers and the final outcome of the residency. And lastly, we will have like a exhibition happening in our labs building at Cornell University. So we can have a exhibition gallery space to show your final work. And we will also invite you to join our interviews to reflect your whole journey at our lab and this residency. So we will certainly provide a lot of support during your journey in the future residency. For most importantly, it's about the funding, the monetary support. We will provide 6,120 stipend for the whole 2 months duration for your stay and research in our lab. And we will provide 300 material budget for you to purchase whatever you need. This money will not be directly allocated to you, but like we will deduct from our lab's budget. And of course, most of artists may not be it's like a local residence. So we will provide appropriate transportation reimbursement for you with a maximum of $300. And in our lab, we also have a lot of like a facility support, like can support your creative process about your art and design. So we have different digital fabrication tools, including different kinds of 3D printers, and we have sewing machine and weaving machine and even knitting machines for different kinds of soft materials creations. And we can give you a quick lab tour around our lab space. Yeah.
Yeah, let me change iPhone camera.
Yeah.
Connected.
I think it's connected. Let's get Jingwen spotlighted.
Okay. So I will give you a brief tour. Maybe I should bring my laptop for the volume. And okay, maybe you can help me. Okay, so where's that coming from? Yeah. Okay. So this is our lab. Yeah, this is our lab, and we are like at the center of the lab, and you can see the view of the outside the window. It's really like we moved to this lab space last year, so I think only one I think Sashimi and Ikaro have experience like working in the lab, and we will start from this there. So from the very end. So we have a film code for materials and for chemical materials and like silicone testing that you can use. And we have 3D printers and more to share. And we have electronic soldering station for all the electronics like soldering and prototyping and assembly. And also a lot of like chemical, like oven, fridge for storing materials and heating up materials, etc. And we have 2 lab sinks to share. And here is where we store some of the floor looms that are not in use, but we also have this silver reed double bed knitting machine. And here is a fume hood where we store and use our 2 3D printers. One is the bamboo, and then the other is Formlabs Form 3 for resin printing. And that's the end of the lab tour.
Jingwen, maybe also just show the
We
view.
have like a shelf that showcase some of our prior research projects.
Jingwen, maybe show the view. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Go back to you.
You got a window.
So now it's time to meet our past first we'll briefly introduce our past residencies and we'll meet all the artists. So this is from 2022 and Morgan hosted the workshop makeup art, and we also work together on different type of coloring on skin. And this is from 2023, and Joe showed us how to tattoo decal and transfer them onto skin, and we all got some interesting patterns on our arms at the end of the workshop. And this is from last year, 2024, and we were like working very intensely on all kinds of nail art and on-body accessory projects. And we also had this workshop, two workshops hosted by one hosted by Sashimi on nail art, and the other hosted by Ikaro on tattoo. And that was really fun exchange of skills. And we also had several artist talks given by each artist. One was like introducing their prior artwork, and one was talking about their artist residency outcome. And here are the projects from the previous artist residency. So 2022, we Morgan Chen created social pre-thesis, and from 2020, kinetic makeup that changes shape when encountering two people in interaction. And then in 2023, Joe created a series of on-body 3D temporary tattoo that examines different interesting on-body and on-skin interaction. And some of the work leveraged our lab's latest research of different miniaturized on-skin prototyping toolkits. And this is from last year. We have a series of nail art and jewelry projects that are interactive and examines different proximities among different people when they're wearing the nail art. And we also develop tutorials, and these are all available on our lab website that you can learn the details about how we created each of the artwork, and we also offer detailed files for fabrication. And we also have academic publications from the artist residency. So from 2022, the artwork was Morgan lead this writing, and then we submitted this work to ISWIC, which is a design exhibition, which is international symposium on wearable computing, and won the aesthetic design award. And this year we also submitted the nail artwork to the design exhibition that will happening in the fall this year. And this is also just accepted and will be published soon. And we will also exhibit the artwork there. And lastly, before we meet the artists, and lastly, it's about life in Ithaca. Cindy will share a little bit more about what will be life in Ithaca in the spring.
Yeah, so this will be our first time hosting the artist residency in spring. And so here are just some snapshots of what Ethica looks like in spring. And I have to say that the real thing is even better than the photo. So highly recommend. It will be a great time to spend 2 months here. And we're happy to answer additional questions as well about living in Ithaca.
Yeah, so now it's time to meet the artist. So we have just one brief slide for every artist, or and for them to introduce themselves and their experience in our lab. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in comments. We will also open the floor for Q&A afterwards. So, Morgan.
Hi, everyone. I'm Morgan. I am the 2022 Artist in Residence. I have a background in makeup artistry and body painting, and I don't do it as much anymore, but the photo on the left is something I did more recently. I work as a 3D artist in fashion, specifically 3D modeling for product design. which I can talk a little bit about later if anyone's interested. But so I usually get like design will give me a sketch, a 2D sketch, and I sort of interpret that and make it into a 3D model. My personal art practice is materially based, body-centric, and I'm really focused on cultural and socio-political significance. And in the past, I've worked with biomaterials, physical computing, which I learned in school, filmic storytelling, and recently I've been working on a lot of physical media, so zines, banners, kites, and really focusing on community organizing and making materials that are used in like protests, mutual aid, stuff like that. And that's been taking up a lot of my time right now, but it's sort of a direction that I always wanted to go towards, and I'm really focused on right now. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Thank you, Morgan. And next would be Joe. Hi, Joe.
Hey, y'all, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah, you can.
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Can anyone hear me?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
We can hear
Okay,
you.
sorry. I get so embarrassed on Zoom. The last time I used Zoom was this meeting last year, so I'm just I'm out of depth.
I feel you.
Yeah, I'm Joe. I was the 2023 artist in residency. Um, and that was just such a tremendously unique opportunity. And I really came into it interested in how I could make, I guess, tattoos that would do something. And I really had no idea whatsoever how to achieve that. And just being able to team up with people like Cindy, Jingwen, Ping Soon, to just bounce ideas off of um, was really like a turning point in my career, I feel like. And you can see in these slides right here, the one on the left is the some of the work that I did at Hybrid Body Lab. And there's really like no moving parts in it whatsoever. It was a photochromic thing. And the piece in the middle is what I was actually able to do right after coming out of Hybrid Body Lab. So it really just gave me a really deep, or not deep, but it just like kind of opened the door to things that I wanted to do, which involved more coding and software and kind of building your own hardware. And then the piece on the right is a more recent thing, and I'm actually really, really getting deeper into software. And really, this direction was able to happen because of what I started to learn at Hybrid Body Lab and the people, the conversations I got to have there. And I'm really, really excited that you guys have a window now. I was like so happy to see that. Um, you guys deserve it. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's about it. I mean,
Yeah, thank you, Joe. And last but not least, Sashimi and Ikaro.
Hi everyone. My name is Aishimi, and just as Joey, I feel like this residency is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I work with nails for 5 years now, and since I started it, I always had a very um a very multidisciplinary like vision towards nails. So I didn't want it to only be seen as a service as it has been seen, like just traditional manicure, but to really expand the field to like anything, any possibilities. And I feel like the Hybrid Body Lab is a residency that, like I have never seen before. And it was just perfect for us to like, I always wanted to bring the nails into a more technological context and experiment in many ways. And I feel like this part was the one that I was missing that I really wanted to do. And so in the residency, we were able to do it. And I feel like in And our like in last year, because we came as a duo, it was very different because we were just lucky to like join forces, and I feel like me and Nika we work really well together. We work both with 3D, but in different aspects. So I do like more physical sculptures, and then Nika has more does more digital art, digital 3D. So yeah, you can introduce.
So yeah, it was amazing to be part of the residency. To be honest, was such a unique opportunity for me and to my work as well, because I was always intrigued and interested in start researching like little hardwares and like Python coding, things like that. But like I never really got the opportunity to start doing that. Maybe because I thought that it was like too hard for me or something like that. And like being able to apply at the residence as a duo and unifying our researches were kind of special because uh we found a way to communicate like both of our works, and we were always like if there was something that was easier for me, I was doing that, and if there was something easier for Sashimi, she was doing that. So we were like splitting everything, and we managed like our time in a way to be able to do like the maximum that we could do, like you have to deliver only one project, but like we try to make like as much more as we wanted, because we just found that it was so important for us to be like the access of all the technologies and the tools that normally you won't see like programs like that in my country. So it was very, very like different. And also the fact that, as Joe said, like you be able to say your crazy ideas for people that actually understand how to build it. It's, I don't know, it's unforgettable, like, and they know like how to search for things. They can say to you that if it's feasible or if it's not feasible, like during the time frame. So yeah, like a little bit about my work. I started my journey as an artist, as a tattoo artist. I tattooed for like almost 7 years, and then I was slowly moving to graphic design and digital art. I've been working with it like for almost 4 or 5 years as well. So yeah, like I'm working in a lot of different medias, but like trying to talk about concepts of memory, identity, and the ways that we access memory in dreams and in connection with spirituality and things like that. And I try to imbue this in my work somehow. And yeah, it was a very great experience. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And so now, like we met all the artists, so we will have the floor open for any questions. So if you have any questions about the program, the logistics, and like if you have questions for any artists about their particular experience, so please feel free to just unmute and ask the question, or if or you can also ask your question in the chat, and we will read and then answer them. Okay. Any questions? Okay, I think as we are waiting for the question, oh, we have some in the chat. Okay. I think Joe again.
I have a question for Ikuro and Sashimi. Beautiful work. I'm curious to know what inspired you both to collaborate together and apply as a group rather than individually? And if you've like collaborated before, but I'm curious to know the story behind it.
You can start.
When we saw like the opportunity, I feel like it was just like straight to like, let's just go and do this together. Because I feel like it's such a major challenge, you know, like when you look at the residency, it's definitely something that it's like out of our comfort zone. So to go together and just like, I couldn't think of a better like occasion for us to join forces because we already do it so naturally in our work. We have collaborated before, but I feel like even when we're not collaborating, we're always in each other's like research somehow because we known each other for like 8, 10 years. So I feel like we are just kind of together for a long time. So it was natural for us to think of doing this together.
Yeah, I feel that like I'm missing myself. Okay, thank you. So yeah, like we already collaborating in a few projects, but like this one was the most special because we actually build like physical stuff, so it was completely different, and the way that we were merging our aesthetic like references and things that we like in the function of the project came out in the way that I couldn't even imagine. So it wasn't my expectation, and I kind of like it. So it was I don't know, it was special. It was very fun to do it with sashimi and super helpful as well because we couldn't be doing like 5 projects like if it wasn't like her and her giant mindset.
And
Yeah.
by the way, I'm such a fan of both Morgan and Joe's work. And I
Yeah,
remember
you guys are amazing.
you last year were seeing this video of you two talking and like excited to apply. So it's crazy to be here now.
Very good.
Yeah, awesome. And thank you, Morgan, for the question. It's a very good question. And we have a question from the chat. For artists, how has the experience impact their work leaving the residency, and did anyone's style change? So I guess we can ask everyone can share about like the impact of your work after or leaving the residency. Um, Maybe let's start with Morgan, because that's the earliest and like more time after the residency.
Sure. So, definitely, I took a lot of skills that I had learned at Hybrid Body Lab. There were so many things that I had never worked with before, like the resin printer or shape memory alloy that was used in social prosthesis, which is the spring that makes it that when you heat it up, it contracts, and that's what creates the movement. So, I definitely took a lot of that with me. Specifically for the 3D printing. This is a direction I didn't think it would go, but I interned with the company I'm at right now in 3D printing and like rapid prototyping. And I also learned how to rapid prototype while I was at the Hybrid Body Lab art residency. So that led to my internship, and then it led to my full-time job in 3D modeling. So that's sort of where I'm at right now. And then as to style change, I think that I definitely have changed mediums a lot over the years. And it's like always growing and developing as I'm growing and developing. So my focus has shifted a bit, but I still am like thinking of new ways to make body art, and I have like plans to do so. So yeah.
Thank you, Morgan. And I guess we will ask Joe to answer next. How has your work being changed or shifted after this residency? And
Yeah, I think I was like kind of getting into it. It really just like opened doors to so many things that I was always curious about. And I don't know, like I'm like always on like a mission to like try new things, and the facilities that you get in a setting like Cornell at Hybrid Body Lab are they're really unparalleled. They're like really state of the art, and I was really thankful that the facilities there were open 24 hours. Um, I actually made friends with like all like the night janitors, and I was kind of I was actually scrutinized multiple times because people thought I was living there, um, which was funny. um, but yeah, that was really yeah, yes, Morgan, many late night hours. Yeah, so I decided to like take on multiple projects while I was there, and that was a really insightful thing. And if a piece felt like it wasn't going anywhere, I would just kind of put it down and work on the next thing. And that was a really it, I don't know. It's like when you go to Hybrid Body Lab, it's in Ithaca, so I didn't know anyone there necessarily, and that was just it was such a devotional time to your work. Like there's really nothing there to distract you whatsoever. So if I was bored, I was like, oh, I'm gonna work on another project. And if I got bored with that, I'd work on another project because there's just nothing. I just really didn't have anything else to do, and that was really inspiring. And I'll always take that with me. That work ethic. I actually, in the course of 2 months there, I didn't sleep for 6 nights. So that was pretty. Um, I felt like I like took some sleep debt on that one. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, I think we have some more questions, so I will just first is let Ryan to
Yeah, can unmute, maybe ask.
yeah. Let's do unmute. Yeah.
Oh, hello. Would you like me to oh, did you want to unmute me?
Yeah, you can ask the question now. You're unmuted.
Oh, okay, perfect. Oh, I was gonna say hi, my name is Ryu. I'm a hair artist based in Chicago, and I wanna say what you guys are doing is super revolutionary and so cool. And for all the artists, I just checked out your guys' work online and I'm just blown away. But I do have some questions for the artist. What was it like working hand in hand with the researchers? And how did you present questions? And how were your questions answered? And just curious to just hear about that experience. And also later, for the administrators, can you guys speak more on like housing and what it looks like for future residences uh, 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 while on campus?
Yeah, I think I might hand the mic to Sashimi or Ikaro to answer the first question about like working with researchers. How would that be? How was it like?
I think it was like easier than I thought because I was thinking that it would be like kind of like a big barrier of knowledge, but like of like just the way like we would talk about like every each project or each part of the project. But like when I started, I felt like very comfortable and like every doubt that I had like were solved. Like they teach me, they told me like how things works, and I learned, and I feel that like it affected how I perceive technology, how I see technology. Like everything like if you figure out that like everything has like a small sensor, like they have like a small camera that works in a software, like all these connections that can be like basics for some people, but like for me it wasn't that basic, and in the residence I could like learn. So like basic knowledge about electronics and batteries and circuits, like how those things works, it was I don't know, like I wouldn't learn these things in only 2 months if it was like just by myself, like, and being there like every day, like trying to do the project that you said that you would deliver. It was a good, like a good pressure, like it's good for yourself to be in this environment, I feel.
And then maybe Morgan, do you have anything to add on like working with researchers in that sense?
Sure. So I think that I had a little bit more of a background or like prior knowledge about like electronics and physical computing. So I think I had a little bit of an advantage, though I've never been really good at it, to be honest. But I worked directly with Cindy, who worked on the circuit, and I think it went really smoothly. I focused on a lot more of the design, and Cindy helped figure out sort of we talked about like sort of the interaction that needed to happen and the sort of what it should look like, and then Cindy worked on the circuit for that. And I'm sure it maybe was a little bit less complicated than the other artists that had many different projects. But it was pretty straightforward. I also wanted to say, this is a little bit off topic, but for anyone like interested in doing this sort of art, I really recommend checking out the tutorials on the Hybrid Body Lab website. Even if you don't end up doing the art residency, if you're interested in this, there are so many great tutorials, and you can really like learn step by step the techniques that Hybrid Body Lab uses. So I really encourage that.
Thank you. And then we have the some of the questions, and Cindy will answer them directly in the chat. So in terms of the time during the reason we are hosting it during the spring semester is actually from the feedback from particularly Joe, that in the summer there are less students in the lab and less things happening. And actually, last time we hosted it during the fall semester for the first time with Sashimi and Ikaro, and has been much involving experience for us, and more lab members will also like have more interaction with artists. And then then moving on to the next question. So if the lab has a specific direction, theme, or goal in mind for the upcoming spring in terms of research, and maybe Cindy can answer this question.
Yeah, so specifically for the artist residency, we do not have a specific direction. We are really interested and curious and open to where the artist leads us and what they're interested in. So this residency, it's really, I think our goal is to really support and enable the artists what they're interested in and what they might envision in intersecting their artistic practice with our technology. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, I'm happy to clarify, but yeah, so I think my recommendation for the application is to really write to what you're passionate about, what you're interested in. And yeah, so there is no predefined target direction or type of technology that we have in mind. So you can let me know if that answers your question. Happy to clarify more.
Yeah. Thank you, Cindy, for answering the question. And another example is that a lot of our research related to the artist residency is actually very spontaneous. And I think Pinkstone worked with Morgan on like some initial prototype of on-skin prototyping toolkit, and that actually some of the techniques we learned from Morgan become part of our research, the research technique, and become later on like our research paper publication. So I think it's very open-ended in terms of what theme or goal. And I think
Right.
we
And
have time.
and one thing is, I think there's a question for us, Jingwen, about housing, right? Just I think Ryu was asked two questions.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
apologies. I was just asking, and this can be covered later too.
Okay.
But just about just housing, what that looks like for students and the experience on campus, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm happy to respond to that, right? So we provide a stipend, and artists, you're free to find the type of housing you want anywhere on camp. Like it can be, there are some on-campus options, but it's kind of up to you if you want to live with a lot of undergrads. Might be a different lifestyle. I think our most of our just like visiting researchers, or I think our current artists have lived off campus. And Ithaca is really interesting because there's a lot of different types of like housing situations, right? So some people you might prefer to live in like a bigger house further away with a lot of space in nature. Some people they prefer to maybe live in downtown core. And to kind of provide that flexibility, you can have the uh, you know opportunity to select your own housing, and we will provide support in looking for seeking housing, like where to look for housing. We're also happy to help you make connections. Yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Anything to add, Jinglin and Eddie, about housing?
I think one thing is that we learned from previous residency because previously we started with 6 weeks and then expand to 8 weeks, and now we learned that we have to match the months so that it's actually easier for subletting if it's like 2 full months, and that's one of the major reason we pushed this residency to like a 9-week 2 months residency. So it's actually much easier to coordinate with like subletting in that way.
Yeah, and then we heard like there are some undergrad students go like a study abroad. Although they may sublet their house for like an entire semester, but there are also like chances there are many vacant places that you can sublet through the social media or like Facebook Marketplace, something like you can contact the undergrads directly. They may have a chance to allow you to submit for like a 2 months. Yeah, like yeah, and if like you can drive in Ithaca, you can have more flexibility to like to have more choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also that's another reason we are having our notification date very early. That's in the fall. So once that's confirmed, then we can start looking for housing very early. So as the sublet goes along the semester time, so hopefully the housing like situation would be easier to get sorted out this year. And
Awesome. Thank you so much.
thank you. And we have time for, I guess, one more question. If anyone has question, feel free to unmute and ask.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Adrian. Thank you for sharing your project and to the artists to show their works. Seems like a very exciting project, one of a kind. Um, I had a question about the application. How precise do you need the project to be for the application? Because we all know that creative process is somewhat surprising and fit by whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you discover in the lab. So how do you want it to be precise? Does it need to be exactly what you are going to create, or do you need like more the idea, the general idea of the direction of the project?
Awesome. Great question. I'm happy to answer, just, start off with an answer, Adrian. So, I think what we're looking for is really a proposal. So what you propose to do, and what you're thinking you might do from your just like more initial understanding about what our lab can offer in terms of the on-skin technology. So you are absolutely not bound to what you write. It really is, I think, an opportunity to also invite the applicant to think about what they might do. Yeah. So, yeah, and I think maybe I'm wondering if any of the prior artists might be interested in sharing what they propose and what you might. And because yes, absolutely, when you actually come here, we will also we'll have like a lot of skill and also knowledge exchange, and that process I think often will help generate the final thing that you decide to work on. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, Joe.
yeah. I went in with like a direction, like I really wanted to make tattoos that did something, and that probably involved 3D printing in my mind, and that was like kind of the extent of it. And I really had no idea about a lot of electronics, a lot of physical computing, and so yeah, I feel like the lab is extremely welcoming to have really really foundational like conversations. Like once you get there, like I feel like the first thing that you should do is talk to every single person at the lab, ask them what they're interested in, what's their thesis about, what does this piece of equipment do, why does it do it, and then sleep on it, and then apply that to your proposal. And hybrid body's really really open to do that. Yeah.
Um,
Okay, thank you very much. Seems very like an open-minded project, and that's very exciting. Thank you.
Thank you. Since we still have time, I guess so we can also have Sashimi Ikaro and Morgan just brief if you have any tips to share in terms of putting together the application.
I think for me, from what I remember, it's been a it's been a while. But I wrote a proposal that wasn't very specific about the type of technology that would be used, but more like I wanted to, like Joe, I wanted to make like a dynamic makeup prosthetic, which ended up happening. But I think yes, when I got there and saw what other hybrid body lab students and researchers were doing, that really inspired me and gave me the direction that I went. And then as maybe I'll say this as part of the selection committee, I think I would like to see somebody that has like a strong like artistic vision or ideas and is able to sort of um, articulate that, I think will be important in your proposal. Along with, of course, like portfolio and other like supporting like work. But I'd like to see someone that has like a strong articulation of what they're interested in and their like research, their sort of enthusiasm for research.
Thank you, Morgan, for sharing that. And Saijin, yeah.
In regards to our project, our application project, we just we knew that we wanted to connect like my 3D artwork with her nail designs and nail sculptures, and this whole idea on how like things applied to your nail can affect your performance or but like it's just like the big vision. And with this mindset we were we thought that would be impossible, but like would be cool to produce like kind of a nail tattoo machine. Somehow we were like just imagine this thing in our head, and then when got up we got like the finals and we got selected. Uh, just talking about the project, they just said that it would be might be feasible, and we were like, okay, so how? And we started like working on this idea. These were like the most complex idea of the whole project. We been like doing a lot of iterations, like rounds of prototyping during like the whole 2 months, and yeah, but like that's the thing. Like you don't need you don't need like a project like structured. You just need like the idea, the region that you want to work and how you articulate all those things and you explain this. I think it's good to have a portfolio that is also like kind of connected with this as well, because if you're interested in doing work for nails and you do hair, like you can obviously, but like it's kind of important to see the equation of all the body of work for the application.
Yeah.
If
Thank you
I
so much.
if I were to just give a tip to whoever is selected next year, I would just say that when you think about the 9 weeks, you think about just getting the project done. But you have to remember to separate a time to do the photos. Because I feel like that took us like 2 weeks out of our residency because we really wanted to. Because like the project itself is so hard to do, and then if you don't have a good photo of it, you kind of have nothing. So like we worked really hard on like getting casting people, like getting the right idea, and most of them were in studios. So like if you want to get outside, it's even harder. So just get a time to think about that.
Yeah, it's this it's good for the after, like if you plan yourself that you have to show the project after, it will be better for you because there in Cornell you have access to cameras, to studio, to light, and to Jinwei that will help you during the whole process. So I feel that like having this is good to like separate a time just to take good photos of the project because it's very important.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I just wanted to just kind of speak on that. That another thing that you might not think about, like photos, that was really, really important for me was giving the talks. It was something I'd never done in my career, and you have to talk for an hour twice, and it was almost like writing an essay where as you write it, you actually learn more about what you're talking about, and that was an extremely rewarding part of the residency as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for everyone to share all the insights. And yeah,
Yeah, I think that's all for today. Yeah.
Yeah, and if anyone has further questions, feel free to email us. So Jingwen, Eddie, and I, we have all of our contacts on the artist residency page on the Hybrid Body Lab website. And yeah, and then these four wonderful artists, thank you guys so much for taking time to be here today. And yeah, and thanks everyone for joining. We really look forward to all of your exciting applications. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Yay.
everyone.
Super special to be here.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
Bye.
much. Bye, Morgan. Bye, Joe, Vivian, and Carl. Thank you. Bye, folks. Have a good one. Bye. Thanks, Eddie and Jingwen.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot. You too. Bye.